Hey guys, welcome back to another Minecraft video. We're in the Nether. I'm gonna be showing off these cool Piglin Chieftain variants I made for Piglin Brutes. Right, I'm gonna be showing them off inside the bastion. We might actually run into some. No, that's just a regular Piglin right there. The problem with regular Piglins in vanilla is that they are really strong. They ignore your golden armor disguise, right? And also, yeah, they're just really strong, and they kind of look similar to regular piglins. Like their model is exactly the same, they just have a bit of a different texture. Then obviously they use an axe. Let's see if we find one. They really stand out. The variants I added. Just not seeing any right now. I wonder if it has to do with my. Oh, there's one. There you go. And their visuals didn't match their strength or their uniqueness at all. They honestly can be kind of like a mini boss. I mean, to me, if you play hard mode, I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm just trash at Minecraft, but these guys are really fucking tough, and you really want to look out for them. And then because I also have a bunch of Piglin variants, sometimes it could get messy or something. Like I wanted it to be really clear that you're dealing with a really strong mob like the Piglin Brute. And this is what I made. This is one of the variants right here. This is another one. This one kind of looks like Bane. There you go. These are all inspired by the chieftains shown in the Minecraft Legends trailer. They're very big, so that obviously wouldn't work. So I kind of had to change them a bit. Minecraftify them, Minecraft Java editionify them, I guess. I think they're very cool. There's more variants actually. Let's spawn a few. See what we can get. Can we get to a little bit of a nicer area? Is that like a prettier part of the castle? I guess this is a kind of a nice area. Just spawn a bunch. Okay, look at this. Because it's a crimson forest, obviously the blackstone bricks are nylied, mossy, right? I guess, but it's nylium, so maybe it's nylied. I don't know. Yeah, so that kind of matches the vibe. The Nether has quickly become like the most immersive dimension. Look at those guys. What the hell? That's kind of rare, right? Jesus Christ! I don't think I've ever seen that. That's weird as shit. Look at them, how happy they are. Look at him. Anyways, because it's in the crimson biome, he has crimson robes, and then there's also just a regular variant. They're all equally rare, but there you go. That's another one. This is a crimson biome dependent variant. There's also one for the wart. We'll go there in a minute, obviously. Yeah, look at him. That's quite a fucking brute, isn't it? Jesus Christ. I think these are very cool. There's one more that hasn't actually shown up yet, which is quite a big one as well. These are completely random, but sometimes it doesn't feel that way. Look at this one. He has face paint. He has a big ol' hoglin skull on his chest. He has the bandages. They are the same color as the bandages in bone blocks in soul sand valleys, and the skeletons sometimes also have bandanas, and the piglins have robes in soul sand valleys. The Nether is so immersive in my pack, man. It's wild. So yeah, there's this wild guy has a big bone stuck to his arm. Look, he can really hurt you. He's quite a fucking impressive guy. And this guy with the wild nether brick helmet. If for the ones who are able to spot the pellet, there you go. Quite impressive, kind of a strong guy, kind of a crazy guy. Fun fact, warped forests in my pack are obviously animated. I showed that off in my previous video. So what I thought was fun is to make the paint on this guy animated as well with the same palette. So right now it's just like, it looks like he just has, I don't know, like green paint. It doesn't really matter. You wouldn't necessarily associate that with wart per se. It's just a green palette, it's quite simple. But then over time it'll obviously change color. So you can actually, this little guy, this little variant actually has a lot of variants on its own, because the textures change of his the war paint, right? Those textures change over time from this color to purple. So every time you find a bastion, these guys might have completely different face paint, which is super immersive, super fun. That's why I had to do it. And then there's obviously these big ones, these crimson ones that look really gross, truly gross, and they're different in warped forest. I'll find a warped forest real quick, and we can check out. I can show off the warped variant, right? Okay, so this is kind of perfect. This is a bastion remnant in obviously a warped forest. So now the bricks have warped colored nylium on them. It's very immersive. I like it a lot. Then the piglins will show different outfits as well. And then there's the big Piglin Brute variant. This is kind of a shitty bastion though. It's kind of like really hidden well into the mountain. I mean, I bet it could be fun to explore, but for showcasing mobs it's not so much. But I want to showcase the mobs in their natural biome. So there you go. Look at this guy. Isn't that cool? Now he has, and obviously that means that the crimson, the warped forest is currently in its purple stage, and we'll actually try to find more of the forest bit of this biome, which is here. There you go. So the warped forest is obviously transitions in my pack. Oh, wrong game mode. Yeah, so the warped forest obviously transitions in my pack from the cyan colors to the purple colors, and these Piglin Brutes, you know, the animation matches that palette. So very cool. 4 different Piglin Brute variants, including a random biome dependent variant and a bunch of animational randomness, which is a really cool little feature that I've been doing in my pack, which not many people are doing, and I like it so much. It makes for such immersive stuff, such details with relative ease. You just have to think of it, right? Which is, my mind is always active. So yeah, Piglin Brute variants in my new barely default update. I think they're really cool. I like them a lot. And yeah, I mean, get the pack, play with them for yourself, play with all my other changes. I mean, I figured while I was at it, I'll just quickly, let's locate a structure, fortress. Little pet peeve of mine. Can I just share with you a little pet peeve of mine that I have? You know, they recently changed this command, right? Okay, locate. And then it used to just be, before this you could never search for biomes. And obviously it's great that we can search for biomes, you know, it's a good thing. But now I have to do locate and then choose what type of thing I want to locate, right? So whether it's a structure or a POI or a biome, I messed those up in the order, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, so I can, so it's a double tab, right? I click slash, then locate tab, all right, tab, and then I have to select a group within that command. And then so I do tab biome, for example, and then I get to select my biome. But why isn't the command just this? Why isn't there a locate and then locate biome, you know, and then locate structure, you know, and then locate POI? Do you know what I mean? Like, doesn't that make so much sense? I mean, I misspelled it, but now it would only be 2 tabs, right? Because then instead of doing locate, instead of doing, locate, it's such a weird rant. I don't even know if anyone's following this, but instead of doing locate, then biome, then the thing, 3 tabs, you just do slash locate biome and then the biome, right? Does that make sense, right? And it's not like this is an alien concept from Mojang either, but because if you look at the game role commands, those feel like a mess sometimes, see? All of these are like multiple words put together, you know, like you know, I feel like that's not too far out of something Mojang would do. Anyways, while I was actually gonna locate structure, fortress, there you go, all these names, all these biomes, there you go. Wow, look at those commands. Holy shit. Look at the coordinates that we landed on, right in the smack dab middle of these 2 values. Isn't that interesting? I mean, it's just a nice number, I guess. And I don't know why I wanted to go to a forest. I mean, one of the things I added is I added random variants for a nether brick. It's this variant right here. This is a new variant. Actually, the pattern is inspired by Notch's older game, Legend of the Chambered. Because I just like little Easter eggs. I like everything having a reason. I like making everything in the Minecraft universe canon. Obviously, Notch made Minecraft and he made that game. There's obviously textures from Legend of the Chamber that ended up in Minecraft. So I like to think that it's all kind of like connected. And then I like kind of like, all right, even if it isn't, I just kind of like to make it connected, right? So I added this new variant to nether bricks and then also red nether bricks. I mean, obviously for good measure, right? Which also meant that I had to add, that I wanted to add, because I thought that previously I only had this variant of nether brick, right? And then that means that the nylied variant of nether bricks also, you know, was only one texture, and I thought it became very repeating and obvious and didn't feel very natural. And now with this new texture in the mix, because there's a new nether brick variant, right? So I had to add a new nylied nether brick variant. I think everything looks a lot nicer, a lot more natural. I think it's a great thing. Nether brick is kind of a chaotic brick pattern if you really pay attention to how the bricks are laid. So having it have a random texture like this with just bricks kind of all over the place kind of works really well. I think this is really pretty. Alright, and I've also added 3D models for nether warts. These are randomly rotated, just cute little button mushrooms, kind of like, I mean, it's just kind of, if you look at the funguses in my pack, I mean, they're all 3D, right? I mean, nether wart is a fungus, and even the crops I've made 3D, right? I've made carrot, oh, that doesn't work, but you get it, they're 3D, right? And I've also made crops like carrots 3D. Still have to do the potatoes. I still have to do that. That's interesting. But yeah, look, if you look at this, take our debug one, there you go, just make it wet. And we do this. Oh, we can do it? Can't do it because there's no water nearby, right? Oh, we can do water in the nether. Anyways, I've done 3D crops. I'll put a screenshot in the screen. So I had to do 3D nether wart, and this is the way I did it. Just a bunch of random mushrooms, random rotations. As they grow, some variants will tap over or like tip over like this one. So there's like a nice random pattern. We can actually increase the tick speed. There you go. They all grow to their max stage right now, which is the one I want to show off now. The final stage of it is actually animated. See how they're all randomly tilted, and then they're randomly rotated, so that the tilted variants are all randomly tilted in different directions as well. See, it's all very natural. Looks very good. I think fits with my pack. Left ambient occlusion on. I think it's very nice. It looks very good if you even know what that means. And then obviously the final stage is animated. Like I said, we'll take a big look at the animation right here. There you go. It's just like a simple animation on all the stems. It just happens sometimes. And it just kind of to show you, it's very subtle. You might not even notice it first, but it's to kind of really show you that the plant is done. I mean, it's also quite a lot bigger, you know, than the previous stages. So this is the first stage, obviously, then the second stage, and the third stage, and then the fourth stage is even bigger. See, it has the mushroom cap even has an extra color added to the palette. So yeah, I think this is very cool. Cool little change that I had to make. And that's it for this video, though. You know, I've shown off a lot, and there's also, you know, you need to fucking get the pack. You need to be able to get the pack and then play with it, right? And then find all the surprises yourself, because there's a lot of changes, a lot of secrets, a lot of details, a lot of immersion that happens. And oh, this is broken. Look at that. Found a little bug in my pack. You want me to fix it live on camera? Boom! Oh yeah, and I also updated my loading screen. Because I'm handsome as hell, and being shirtless kind of probably repelled some people, right? Because I was watching some streamers install my pack, and then they all kind of went, oh, every time I was shirtless on the loading screen. So I feel like this is more passive. I've updated some fonts, just changed the layout a little bit, just a bit cleaner now. Better every update. Some people might not like the loading screen, but it's a free resource pack, and I just kind of really need to, you know, get myself out there. Look how much of a rat I am right now compared to that hot picture I have on my loading screen. I look like such a rat. Just took a shower. Nice hair though, just a bit wet. All right, look at this. It's fixed. Magic. Oh, and the animation reset as well. So this guy is now because every time you reload your packs, the animation resets. So now this the force is back to normal. So now you get to see this variant as well in the video. That's kind of cool, right? Look how nice that is. And then we'll show the purple, or like the guy with the stripes with the war paint on. See, now the war paint's purple. Isn't that fun and dynamic and unique, guys? Isn't that just the type of detailing you'd want? Because now he has random war paint colors every time you meet him. Just because of this animation thing I've done. Isn't that the best? Isn't that the fucking best? And you won't ever notice, many people won't notice this, you know? Like, this is obvious at some point, you know? But the fucking war paint, color changing, and then being a completely a huge array of randomness, right? Because every shade in between green, bluish, and purple is like a different variant, basically. What the hell, man? Get my resource pack, barely default. Alright, guys. Thanks for watching. You want me to smoke a little joint at the end of the video? Should I do that? I have really chapped lips. Do you see that? Are you seeing this? Jesus Christ. It's like skin hanging off my lips, which probably means I'm dehydrated. Let me get something to drink, and then we'll smoke a little joint, and we'll do a little bit of an MD trips, alright? Okay, MD trips. How's my life been? Thank you for asking, kind viewer. Pretty good. Pretty good. It's been nice. I've been chilling a lot with my neighbor, just smoking weed and talking shit, and been really actively working on my resource pack. But also, it's a nice thing that I'm like incorporating my resource pack more into my YouTube now. It's obviously getting a lot more views, so it's obviously what people want to see. And I was always stubborn. Like, I had a huge, like, you know, I was held back by the idea that Minecraft is a kid's game, and then I'm doing podcasts or like videos where at the end maybe, you know, I get high, sort of thing, or whatever, or even talking about my life, right? Because I've had fucking depressions, and I've had a bunch of wild shit happen in my life that I talk about, like, and you know, I want to do that. I want to just be able to be myself, a 25-year-old guy, just fucking, you know, who was really passionate about Minecraft for some reason. And I was, for the longest time, I didn't really want to make Minecraft videos too much because I was scared that I would just draw in kids. But then I realized, if I'm a 25-year-old guy, and Minecraft was huge when I was a kid, then all those people that loved Minecraft as much as they did back then, just like I did, are now also 25. There's plenty of adults. There's like a whole adult Minecraft scene. So, yeah, like if Minecraft is just what people want to see from me, and I looked at my statistics, and for some reason, 100% of my viewers are 25-year-old males, which is me. So that means that it can't be accurate. So like some people might not disclose their age, or like I don't really know, but you know, like it's not like I actively draw kids into my content or something. So I'm just gonna do fucking Minecraft videos because they're really fun, and I love my resource pack. I really have a wild sort of passion for the game. Like I root for Minecraft the way people would root for like a soccer team sort of thing, you know? Like sort of like I want them to do good, and then when they do like a dumb thing, like chat moderation, you know, I'm like, what the fuck, you know, they made a stupid move, just like how people who like soccer would get mad at like a, you know, like a dumb decision by like a player or whatever. I mean, I don't watch soccer, but I see people get excited about it and like passionate about it, and they're really rooting for a team, right? And I'm really on team Minecraft, which isn't always team Mojang, but then again, they're maintaining it, so might as well, you know, root for them, right? I mean, I'm not hating on Mojang. So yeah, I recently drove the company van for the first time. That's kind of exciting. Like a $60K van. It was like the first time driving basically since I got my license. But all went well. I mean, obviously I got my license, right? So all went well, went good. I've cleaned my entire room. It's nice because it was such a depression hole. I'm going to be making a video about it, like how it was and how it is now, which is kind of a shocking video to expose myself like that, but that's what I'm all about, you know, just the raw, ugly honesty of like life, you know, sometimes, where I feel like a lot of people just show you all their good sides, and then you judge them by what they tell you, but you never judge them about what they don't tell you. I mean, I feel like people do judge people about if the bad shit, if you tell the bad shit, you know, the ugly side, if you show that of yourself, the ugly side of yourself, people judge you for that. But I feel like everyone has an ugly side, but people just, I don't know if it's lying about it, but they just don't talk about it. They keep it quiet. You know, they just virtue signal and show you the good sides, which is fine. You do you, but it's not what I'm doing, and that's all I'm saying. The weather has been getting really nice lately. Like every time, normally the entire winter when it's 6 and I arrive home, it's already dark. Like when I leave work at 5, it's dark, right? And now when I've been getting home, most days it fluctuates. I don't really understand that, but most days it's still bright out at 6. Very exciting. I'm definitely a summer type of guy. I feel like most people are like, fuck winter. I mean, the summer is fucking awesome, and spring is probably one of my favorite seasons. Least favorite thing about spring is definitely the bugs. All the insects fly into your mouth when you're biking. But I'm gonna have a car soon. Oh yeah, another update. I'm buying a car. Pretty cool, because I've had a bunch of savings for a while already. Just been saving up my entire life, and a car just seems like a reasonable investment, you know. People talk a lot about what a car offers you, and I don't really get it, because I have never driven or felt such a strong desire for the freedom that a car could give me. I've kind of honestly always kind of predicted that I wouldn't have a car, you know. Like, I always thought that, I don't know, like maybe I'll get a car when I'm like rich and I have 24 hours for myself, like I might as well learn to drive sort of thing. But I never thought that I would actually you know, buy a car or like get my license even. It kind of happened through work. My boss was just kind of, hey, you want to work here? But it would be nice if you had your license. I was like, yeah, that would be cool, you know, working here. And then she was like, what if you just get your license? You just try. And I was like, okay. And now I have my license. So that's how that went. I went to the club recently. I drove my bike for 2 hours to the club because I really wanted to go out. Like I always, like, I feel like the definition of a man, like, what is a man? What is a woman? You know, like this whole fucking conversation. But for me, like, I always felt kind of lost in my identity, and like I didn't really know, like, whatever the fuck. And then when I lean into masculinity, I really found myself, like an efficient version of myself, you know, like strong and all that shit. It's really what I needed, you know, some masculinity in my life. I feel like the most masculine thing, or like what kind of defines masculinity almost, like we're such a strong pillar of masculinity, I guess I'll say, is if you have a problem and you can complain about something, but not if you're not going to solve it. If you complain about something like, oh, this thing is in the way, and then you don't make a plan to get this thing out of the way sort of thing, then you know, don't complain. You know, because you're accepting it, you know. So I have been complaining about being lonely and depressed, and obviously I'm not accepting it. Wild how many people assumed I wouldn't get back on top of my best self, by the way. Like, wild how many people I've lost during my depression who just thought, well, he's lost. You know, better just say goodbye now. You know, like, friends, I thought, you know, crazy. Honestly, really fucking crazy. How many people, I guess, assumed that I would never be back on top of my most uniquely effective. Like, unique. I feel like I'm such a uniquely effective guy, you know? So it's really wild to me that there's how many people have like left me over my depression. But anyway, now that I'm back, you know, feeling good. I mean, it's still not my best self. I'm still smoking cigarettes, but you know, we'll get there. Anyways, one of the things I do for maximum effort, you know, to feeling better and fighting the loneliness is practical solutions. Like recently I went to Utrecht, did a whole vlog about it, to, you know, like a big city, to book like a wild hotel, a cheap hotel I found, like a cheap way to accommodate myself. I mean, you gotta just watch that video. And I could just do a bunch of active stuff, like actively fix the problem that is loneliness, right? And one of those things I wanted to do was go to a club. Now, there's not many clubs where I live in South Netherlands. It's really fucking boring. There's also not really anyone from my age, because most people move away when they're 20, go study or go fucking live in a big city. And then when they're 30 and they're all settled, they come back. So I kind of feel like I'm rotting away in this shithole. It makes me really fucking angry. I talk about it a lot with therapy. I'm really angry to be living here. I have a lot of like resentment I'm dealing with right now to my mom for like moving us, because when we moved when I was 20, I was a fucking autistic child. There was no way I could live on myself. And I kind of feel like taking your kids to a place like this is just kind of like not giving them any chances at a social life, because I wasn't a social kid. Like I said, I was autistic as fuck. I mean, in her defense, she probably didn't know that I would turn out to be like a really social guy once I conquered all my autism and all that shit. But like now I'm living here in this shithole and there's nothing to do here, and it's really tough to like even, you know, integrate here. It hasn't worked out for me. Maybe it's because I'm such an extravagant guy, or like, I don't know, whatever. I mean, scars probably don't help. The fucking depression I go through sometimes probably doesn't help. Anyways, kind of feel doomed here in this shithole place. So I decided to drive my bike for 2 hours to a club. That was kind of like, you know, it was kind of like the closest big club literally to my house. And I got there at like 11. That's when it opened. And there was no one there, but I just bought my ticket. You know, I just went in because you could buy a ticket. You could pay $30 and you'd get 10 coins for a drink, and you'd get entrance. And a coin for a drink is $3. One drink, one beers, one coin, right? And then to hang your coat is 1 coin. I always have a big hobo coat. I mean, I have to travel for an hour. You know, like what the fuck. I got my hat, you know, with me. I got my gloves with me. I got my weed kit with me. I got a bunch of shit with me I need to deposit, you know. So I'm always need your wardrobe. So that's $3 already, but that's fine. So anyway, that's not even the point of the conversation. It's not. It's just a waste of my money because it was so boring. We'll get to that. I got there at 11. There was no one there, and they were all like, "Yo, well, you're really here really early, and sweetheart." And I was like, "Well, okay, all right. You know, I'll just go for a little walk. You know, I don't know, like smoke some weed." And then I met up with a guy I knew there. He might or might have not been my dealer, and I didn't buy from him that night, but I just had no one else, so I just hung out with him. And until around like 1, and then I got to the club, and I was kind of in a hurry. I was like, yeah, I gotta go, man, you know, the party's starting. I got there, no one there, still, so boring, like, and I just at some point, I just went onto the dance floor. I love to dance, you know, but obviously when there's no one there, it's really awkward, right? So I just went to the dance floor and just danced alone, and then it got kind of busy. But then everyone was with a group, and everyone had their backs turned to me, like just a weirdo coming alone to the club. And that's not always the case in clubs. Like when I went to Utrecht city, people are so much more open-minded. But this fucking south of the Netherlands place, Zeeland, it's so... Dude, people are so fucking to themselves. And I guess they can smell them an outsider, right? Because they like... Such a different culture. Fucking horrible. Till 4 a.m. just dancing alone, trying to like, you know, just I guess... I don't know, just have a good time and make a connection, but that didn't happen. And then I just drove my bike back home for 2 hours, cried almost the entire way back. I mean, no cars passing me at that hour. Just emotional. I mean, I was drunk, I guess, you know, just fucking, I guess, you know, just depression, just fucking stuff I was processing, I guess. And I got home, and then, yeah, that was it. And then the next day I heard from a colleague, or like 2 days later, because that was a Saturday. So Monday I heard from a colleague that apparently in that city where I was, there was a big festival in a church that I could have gone to. And that's maybe why the club was empty. And I wanted to fucking shoot myself when I heard that, dude. Like, holy shit. And nobody tells me. Because these people in this club, all they care about is I come there and spend my money. They don't care about me having a good night. Like, I asked the DJ at some point, like, it was really quiet, right? I was like, yo... can I sing Ed Sheeran, bro? I was like, yeah, man, we'll do it later, okay? Later. And I kept like over throughout the night from like, I asked him at around 1, and then, you know, as it was every hour, I kind of re-asked him like, hey, when are we going to do this? He was later. And then it was like 10 minutes before 4. So like 3:50, right? I asked him like, hey, is this going to happen? And he said, you know, you're always welcome to come back. Try again next time, buddy. You know, so these people at the club, they don't give a fuck about my good night. They just want my money. And that's I get it. Because you're running a club, but can you not? I mean, I guess you're just that shit of a club, right? That's the kind of fucking tactics you're applying to me. You know what I mean? Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, if there's a fucking festival going on, you should have told me. You know what I mean? You should have told me. Someone should have told me, like, hey man, what are you doing here? Because I told some people, like, I always talk to like staff, right? Like, oh, it's like easy. Little bit of a social interaction to get in because you're already talking to them, right? So like staff, bar, you know, people at the bar, and all these people that told me, yeah, I'm here alone. I'm really hoping it's gonna be. I'm not leaving. I mean, you know, whatever. And all these people could have told me about this festival, but they didn't because they wanted my money. So really disappointed with this fucking club. I don't know. Don't even want to go there again. Even if next time it's busier because this time there was a festival. There's like the so. Unwelcoming, right? Fucking hell. I want to live in a big city, man, but I don't have the money for that. And also there's a housing crisis. So yeah, bunch of shit to rant about, bunch of shit to talk about. But that's MJ Trips for you right there. Thank you for watching this video about the Piglin Brute. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you also enjoyed a little podcasting bit at the end. And there's a bunch of me talking on my channel. So just go watch my old videos. I'm going to go shave. Because now that I've seen my handsome loading screen, I really like, you know, compared to like my shitty me looking like a rat, you know, and me in my loading screen being like the most handsome picture I've ever taken of myself. I need to shave. So yeah, keeping up with the Kardashians. What? I don't even know. Thanks for watching MJ Trips. Tell your friends about my research pack. Tell your friends about my channel, and do all the things that you want to that you know a YouTuber wants you to do. You know, scan my sticker. Look for my stickers. They're all over the country. I didn't put them there. It's my fans putting them there. My fans put up my stickers. It's not me. If anyone's watching this, holding me accountable. Yeah. Thanks for watching and bye.